Good morning, all. Gaitley Stevenson-Mathews here. This is an episode of Happening at the Center. I am the Community Engagement Officer here at the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center, and what a pleasure to be here today. This is a program that happens live on Facebook on our official channel every Wednesday, or rather the first Wednesday of the month at 10:30 a.m., and we share with you information happening at the center to kind of keep you abreast of things that are coming up. This is a special day today. We are at Landmark on Main Street in Port Washington, and we are here today because there is a special presentation happening tomorrow night beginning at 6:30 p.m. The title of the show is Whistle. I'm going to let you talk about it a bit more, and I'm going to hand this over to you in a minute. But what we're going to do this morning is we're going to share with you about Whistle. I'm going to have Hadar Galron actually share that information with you, and then we'll come back to me and we'll scroll through all of those events. And Hadar, I may very well put you to work helping me with that. So, Hadar, if you don't mind, let us know what's happening tomorrow night. Again, this is being presented by HMTC and also our legislator, Mazi Pilip. Yes. So presented by that organization, also our legislator. So share with us about what's going to happen here tomorrow night at 6:30.
Okay, well, the show is called Whistle. My mother was Mengele's secretary. And actually, this show has been touring around since 2020. It's based on an autobiographical story by Jacob Buchan, whose mother was the secretary of Dr. Mengele in the Second World War in Auschwitz. That's how she survived the war. Now, survived is a relative term because both Jacob's parents were Auschwitz survivors. And he wanted to make a play about second generation, about emotional baggage that goes on, and about the generation that he calls them the transparent generation. So the play is actually the story of a woman, second generation, whose mother was Mengele's secretary, and her realization in midlife that actually she was never loved by her parents after what they went through, and that's how she didn't either learn how to. She didn't marry for love, and she realizes that she never really loved as she dreamed she could. And here suddenly is her last chance with a stranger that walks into her garden and steals peaches from her peach tree, and suddenly she realizes she needs to fight her demons in order to maybe have this last chance to love as she dreams, but can she? Or is this black hole inside her going to swallow everything up? So Jacob Buchan is the author of the story. I adapted it to stage. I'm a playwright as well. I adapted it to stage and I act in it, and Hana Vazana Grunwald is the director.
And I will say, when I was looking up information on this particular play, as you notice, Hadar is very familiar with this play, and of course she does. She adapted it. She is the actress. It is a one-woman show. It's going to be an incredible show tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Make sure you go to hmtcli.org/events to get information on it. You do not want to miss the play. It is just incredible.
I will just say very unmodestly, I'm sorry, but it's because I feel this play is important, that it has won several international prizes. It's been translated to 9 languages. It's been published in English, Hebrew, and in German. And I feel that since the 7th of October, before the 7th of October, I did this play in order to remember what happened. But since the 7th of October, I've been doing this play, and my feeling is it's to remember that after things, really bad things that happen, there is still an after. There is still hope. There is still a way out. There is still a chance to love. And
I will say, this time in our history with so much antisemitism on the rise, that is what we need. We need hope.
Yes,
we do. So certainly make sure you get here. I am now going to put you to work. I'm going to hand you the microphone, if you don't mind.
I'm going to work.
And we're going to go through the other events coming up, and there are quite a few. As we already mentioned, we've got 6:30 p.m. play. That is Whistle. You know this lady, right?
Yes, I know her.
Okay, so make sure you're here tomorrow night, beginning at 6:30 p.m. Author Talk. This is Not a Real Enemy. That is happening at 1 p.m. on March 9th. It's actually a double bill. There are 2 things happening at the center that day. One is Robert Wolf, who will be sharing about his book, and then the other is actually a reception for a wonderful art exhibit. Lest we forget, stories of hope, resistance, and survival retold through art. We don't have great lighting in here. I'm having trouble reading this. But anyway, it's Janet Lust Games. It's her art. She is a multimedia artist. Also, her students have some wonderful things that are part of that exhibition from Lawrence High School. She was a teacher there for 25 years. It's so moving. Make sure you get there. And that begins at 3 p.m., also on March 9th. So spend the day with us at the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center.
Remind me at the end to go back to March 6th, okay?
Okay, I will. So we'll come back to that. So make sure you keep listening. So March 18th, there is a online webinar. It is for educators. The title of it is History of European Antisemitism. Make sure you get to that. Again, all of this information is at hmtcli.org/events. This is the greatest thing we have at the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center, or I should say one of the greatest things we have, and that is our monthly book club. It is a virtual event. Make sure you sign up online. Dr. Linda Berghart, who is our scholar in residence, is so well informed and does such a terrific job. The book is The Boy with the Star Tattoo, so make sure you get to the website to get information on that. We also then have a film coming up. This is on March 23rd at 1 p.m. It is at the Center, Voices of Freedom, and it is part of the HMTC David Taub Real Upstanders film presentation at the center. You do not want to miss that. Again, that's at 1 p.m., March 23rd at the center. I did want to mention that we still have our Dali exhibit going on. Of course, it is Aliyah, the rebirth of Israel. And here is the thing. If you go to the center and you pay your admission to the museum, you also get to see this exhibition. It goes through May 23rd. And as I understand, on Sundays, they're doing private tours. So make sure you go to the website, make sure you get that information. And just, it's a riveting display of just incredible art. Last but not least, and then I will come back to you.
Yes.
So there is make sure you save the date. And of course, this is for the Claire Friedlander Upstander Awards. This is about celebrating our young people who stand up for justice, our young people who stand up for against hate and stand up fighting against anti-Semitism. It is the most moving evening. You will want to be involved. And again, that is coming up on April 10th. It is at 7 p.m. And for more information on that, make sure you go to hmtcli.org/events. I'm handing it back over to you, Hadar.
Yes.
What did you want to share?
Yeah, because after the show, well, we're going back to tomorrow. Rewind from April the 10th to March the 6th. And we're going back because after the play tomorrow, we also have a panel on anti-Semitism then and now on Me Too Unless You Are a Jew with Professor Tanya Domi, who is very, very well known in Israel as well today since the 7th of October. She is advisor on atrocities against women and sexual assault and rape. She's one of the she worked in Bosnia, she worked in Rwanda, she worked in many of the countries, and she's one of the people who helped make the world understand that women's bodies are not battlefields, and that rape is a war crime. So she will be with us tomorrow night. Also, the Barbie Zionist, Logan Levkoff, Dr. Logan Levkoff, I should say, who is a very interesting person. She fights for women's rights in a very unique way. Because it's going to be a very interesting panel, speaking of then and now, and bridging over these last 80 years through women and through bodies. And this is Women's Month. I mean, it's always Women's Month, isn't it?
It is always
yes,
Women's Month into the day.
But this month is really Women's Month.
Yes.
So we will be speaking about war via women, via women's bodies and perspective, and maybe have new insights as well.
And what I will say on the two panelists and on all of this information, I will make sure that is included in this broadcast so people can find it. Mm-hmm. Make sure you go to the website with that information, and then find those names, Google those names, because I will tell you, not only is the play going to be dynamic, the fact that this element is pulled in, this is an evening to be a part of and to come and join us. So on that note, anything
and
else?
also a big thank you to Bali Lerner, who
Yes, our executive director at the center for pulling this all together.
And to Dr. Rivki Rosenberg from outside.
Yes.
She's
terrific.
been taking this show around the world.
So we have lots of emails going back and forth, lots of texts, because we care so passionately about bringing this message to Long Island. The fact that this is happening on Long Island, this is your opportunity.
And remember that theatre is the only art left that is not via an AI screen. It's just you and me. So
absolutely. And
no filters.
Can I just say, I feel like, as you know, I have a background in theater as well. So I often feel like art, music, dance, the creative arts can oftentimes move the needle when our politicians can't. And it can open the door and reveal things that others just do not see and shows it in a different light.
It's not that they don't see. They have different aims. Politicians want divide and rule, and artists want to bridge.
Absolutely. So on that note, come join us tomorrow night. Help us bridge the gap. Help us bring hope. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Toda rabba. Shalom.
Shalom.